are you?
I'm doing great. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Dana Abercrombie from the Coalition. This show is very interesting. And with your character, we're first kind of introduced and it's described as being mid. I was wondering, does Paul kind of agree with that assessment?
Does he agree with that assessment of being, you know what? That's such a good question. I think the mid is in reference to where he's at in the silo, which is kind of like the class system. I think he has aspirations for the top. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yes.
So, yeah, he doesn't really care what they think. He knows where he's going, at least at the beginning.
Okay. So would you say that so the fact is we do know that he left wherever he was for a family and for would you say it was inner happiness or was it more of to please the silo?
That's a really good question. I think when we meet Paul, it's a bit of both. I think because of some of the stuff he's dealing with, he has to really be careful what situations he puts himself into.
Hmm.
But I think at the beginning, it is about ambition. It's about finding a place. He couldn't maybe rise up in judicial the way he wanted to, but the sheriff's department, I think he finds an opportunity. Um, yeah.
So also with this show, very interesting is that it seems to look to the past in order to find its future.
Yes.
With Paul, without any spoilers, what would you hope that Paul hopes his future is? And is that different than when we see him in later episodes?
Yes. I think Paul wants to, at the beginning of the show, he wants to be judge of the silo. The judge is the person who runs all the laws and enacts the pact, which is almost like the holy book of the society. He's a
Mhm.
devout follower of that, and he believes he has what it takes to get there. The question of does he know what there is? Does he know who he really is? All of that starts to shift, but I think that's where he starts. And that's not, ooh, that may not be where he ends up.
Okay, maybe not.
That's kind of a
Would you
spoiler, is why.
would you say that not that he's gullible, but more that he is willing to believe what he sees as opposed to what is actually out there?
Yes, I don't think he's gullible. I think he's a rabid believer. I think he likes things to make sense, and the pact makes everything make sense. And it really has been the foundation that's kept this society alive for a long time. But he's smart. And when you show him something, he can't unsee it. He saw it. And I
Right.
think he personally has a moral sense of what truth is, and he can't help but be curious about that truth.
What does a silo represent for him?
Okay. I think the silo represents for him. That's a really good question. Here's a strange answer. If he can
Okay.
get to the top of the silo,
Mhm.
I think he can love himself. I think he believes that proving whatever it takes to become that top person will let him love himself.
How does where he's at now in terms of not loving himself, would you say how does it affect his relationships? Is he being his authentic self?
He's not. It's really a study of, I mean, without too many spoilers, this is a character who's lied to himself for a very, or at least lied to everyone around him, except for maybe his wife, for a very long time. And what I think you see in his character is the weight of that, the weight of performing something that you are not. I don't think he has any sense of what his authentic self is starting the journey. I don't know if he even put those words together, but slowly he might discover that he exists outside of the bounds he's created.
Would you say he is also looking for happiness?
Yes, I think he's looking for peace, or at least that's what one
Mhm.
thing that resonated for me. I feel like he feels like he's got a lot to prove to a lot of people and a lot of voices in his head, and he has that false in his. Like I said, I think if he believes that there's a place to get to where all that goes quiet, and he's not finding that in himself. He's finding it outside of himself.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
speaking
so
to
much.
me and
That
the
was a
show and your
pleasure.
performance.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, you too.